Sea turtles are endangered animals that can live for up to 50 years or more. But when a boat full of rescue volunteers came across one of these turtles, entangled in garbage and plastic waste, they had to work quickly to save it. But what happened next will melt your heart. Sarah had always been a lover of animals, and she was fascinated with the natural world. When she was a young girl, she had always loved going for walks in the forests and seeing what animals she could spot. It's safe to say that Sarah was a girl with a passion for the natural world. As she grew, she worked her way through various animal charities and shelters and found herself specializing in marine life. Sarah became proficient in learning about and treating all kinds of sea life. But as she climbed the ladder, she found herself with the unique opportunity to work with the Olive Ridley Project. Now, you'd be forgiven if you weren't sure what the Olive Ridley Project was. To put it simply, Olive Ridley Project, or ORP for short, has only one goal: to protect sea turtles and their natural habitats. They rescue and rehabilitate them while conducting scientific research that helps the species not only grow, but thrive. Long story short, they were sea turtle savers. There was one hitch though. The Olive Ridley Project was located in the Maldives, thousands of miles away from where Sarah was living in the US. It would be a big change, and it was a tough decision, but the experience would be unlike any other. So, after several days of soul-searching, Sarah agreed, and within a month she was out there leading her own team and adapting to this new and beautiful place she had found herself living in. One particular day, Sarah and her team were going out on a trip to help clear the Maldive waters of garbage and old fishing nets and ropes. Such things could cause a lot of damage to the animals and plant life of the sea. Off they went in their small boat, and before long, they were picking out all kinds of trash and rubbish from the water and stuffing it into big plastic bags. The truth of the matter was that there was more and more plastic and trash finding its way into the oceans of the world. Fish, sharks, and even mighty whales were finding themselves poisoned or killed by the amount of garbage in the oceans. In fact, Sarah had recently read about a whale that had been washed up on shore somewhere, and when scientists had investigated, its stomach was filled with huge amounts of toxic plastics. Suddenly though, one of the team members noticed a particularly large pile of garbage floating on the surface. It seemed as if there was something trapped in there though. Sarah ordered the boat to slowly and quietly approach the pile, but what they saw when they got there left them all stunned. A large sea turtle with a huge amount of wire, netting, and garbage wrapped around its body. It was helplessly struggling to swim and looked in a bad way. Sarah dived into the warm water and quickly grabbed the turtle. She inspected what was wrong with it, and just as she had suspected, she found it had all kinds of garbage, string, and plastic wrapped around its flippers. It was struggling to move them and would surely die if it was not quickly freed. It would not be able to swim after its prey nor escape any enemies. Sarah grabbed her knife from her belt and quickly started to hack away at all the garbage that was tangled around the turtle. The sea turtle seemed confused and panicked and started acting like it wanted to flee and escape. Sarah completely understood how scared the animal must have been feeling, but she couldn't leave it in that state. It would more than likely not survive more than a few days if she left it all tied up and stranded like that. So she worked quickly and carefully. Her knife was thin yet extremely sharp. It cut through the trash with little effort. But Sarah had to work methodically if she wanted to avoid injuring the sea turtle with her knife. Despite having thick and tough shells, their body was very soft and gentle and could be as easily injured as a human's body could. Other members of the team offered to jump in and help, but Sarah refused. Not only did she know what she was doing and would find that other people got in the way, but it would cause more confusion and panic for the turtle. She wanted to minimize the poor animal's stress as much as possible, but the plastic and lines were thick, and Sarah struggled to fully remove everything. She found that the plastic wrapping had dug into the turtle's skin and caused painful-looking abrasions and cuts. They should heal naturally now that they were beginning to be freed, but it would have caused the poor turtle a lot of pain and suffering had Sarah not intervened. Still, the task was not over yet. The turtle still remained trapped in the garbage. So tight were the bonds that they prevented one of the back flippers from moving altogether. It broke Sarah's heart to see a poor sea turtle in this sorry way. But she couldn't let her feelings get in the way, and she continued removing more and more plastic. Thankfully, the turtle seemed to understand that Sarah was trying to help, and it remained generally quite still, looking back every so often and watching as she frantically worked to free it. Luckily though, with one big swipe of her knife, the last bit of garbage drifted loose of the turtle. Sarah grabbed it and threw it onto the deck of the boat, where the team bagged it up to safely dispose of on the land. The turtle just laid there in her arms in the water though. Was it too late? Had the turtle succumbed to the shock of it all? For a long moment, Sarah was worried she had been too late, but then the turtle moved. Its flippers retched, and its head slowly turned to look back down its body. Once the turtle realized it was free of the garbage, it started to quickly move its flippers up and down. It sped up with surprising force and darted off towards the open ocean, finally free to enjoy its life and live safely once more. As Sarah and the team watched on, they smiled to themselves, happy to have done a good deed and rescued the poor animal. If they had not found the turtle in time, the outcome could have been far more fatal. Sarah climbed out of the water and back into the boat as her team congratulated her on a job well done. But just before the sea turtle faded away into the blue of the clear and warm ocean, it started to turn, once again returning to the boat. It approached slowly, and at first no one even noticed it had come back. But suddenly, Sarah noticed the large turtle's shape gently moving towards them, just under the surface of the water. She wondered what was up with the turtle. Maybe it had already got caught again, or there was some kind of injury that she missed as she checked it. But what it did made her heart melt and left her and the rest of the team with tears in their eyes. The sea turtle rose to the surface and poked its head above the water. It looked up and down the boat at all of the people in there before finally resting its eyes on Sarah, the woman who had saved its life. Everyone gasped at what was in the turtle's mouth though. A small red flower that had been floating on the surface of the water. It was as if it was bringing it as a gift. It released it, and Sarah slowly placed her hand in the water and scooped up the flower. Not only that, but it then slowly blinked and bowed its head as if to say thank you and show its appreciation. Sarah smiled back at the turtle, proud to have saved such an amazing animal. She wiped away the tears from her eyes and looked down at the flower as the turtle finally sunk back below the water, turned around, and powered away into the beautiful blue ocean. It had truly been a magical and rewarding day, one that Sarah nor her team of rescuers from the Olive Ridley Project would ever forget. So now it's over to you. What do you think of this remarkable and inspiring story? How would you feel if you encountered a sea turtle entangled in trash? Would you try to help it and save the already endangered animal's life? As always, we love to hear from you, so be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below.